All right, guys, welcome back to another live episode of Monday Night Bodybuilding here on Muscle Discord. And I got my man Phil Jamaican Take Clayhar, man. Welcome back.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
It's a good Monday. Made it through another week, another weekend, and we do have Manuel Romero, IFBB Pro Manuel Romero, joining us here shortly. So he'll pop on when he pops on. But we do have a lot to discuss tonight. You know, this is prime time. This is it's exciting. I like the whole Monday night bodybuilding thing. This is where everyone can come to get a recap of the week, what happened, and a lot happened. So I dropped the video, the exclusive video in regards to the scandal with regards to Natalia Coelho, and she's the Miss Olympia Women's Physique Champ. She beat out Sarah Villagas, four-time champ herself, and Sarah made a post about it that she was not happy with that. There were the results, called out the oil or whatever you want to call it in Natalia. And there's Manuel. So let me just get him in here. Hey, brother.
Hey, what's up, brother? How are you doing?
Good. All right, we're live right now. So we just started. You just made it on time there. Perfect. Welcome to the show, brother. It's been a while since you've been on.
Thank you.
Well,
Hey,
good.
so how are you, my brother?
Good, man. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so just recapping everything that happened with the video that was dropped on Natalia and the PMMA injections and the connection with Tamer El-Guindy and Tarek El-Guindy and this Dr. Fernando in Brazil, this medical clinic that does these procedures, and how Tamer is involved with this doctor. Allegedly they're business partners, and he promotes the clinic. And then you had Natalia at the clinic, and you had Derek Lunsford at the clinic. We'll get into that. Dave Palumbo and Chris Aceto made some calls towards me with regards to the allegations that the whistleblower made, not me, the whistleblower. So they got to get that correct. And so we'll dive into this, but let me share my screen so everyone can see what we're talking about. Okay, so let me just do this here quick, and then we'll jump into it. I'm going to get Phil's and Manuel's reaction to what they think. Get two different perspectives here. All right, so here we have Natalia. Now, this is the 11th month difference in the quads. Okay, and we also have 6 months. Let's just look at the 6 months. The 6 months, that's a very short period of time in bodybuilding to pack on some good size to the quads and to the delts. Okay. And you can see November 2nd, 2024, May 11th, 2025. Okay. Manuel, you're the guest on the show here. First off, give me your thoughts on this. And if you have any experience knowing of any other athletes that may have used PMMA injections, how long it's been in the sport, etc.
Thank you. Well, I had the experience, so let me be real with this. I saw the pictures of Natalia, and I met Natalia when Natalia was around 15 years old and an Olympia champion. I was working with Mutant back in that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was beautiful because she was very inspired. And I will tell you something, guys. I have to say, apologize to a friend of mine, um, because she was telling me she competed at the Olympia, this past Olympia, and she said that Natalia did this and Sarah was accusing her of this. And I say, no, this is a girl who have been working. I know her. She was a real person. Is working hard, is competing. But I didn't know the different of the time. I was guessing that she did like everybody else, take a year off and do the whole thing, and said, yeah, she put into work. And I believe everything is possible. So as I believe everything is possible for me, I'm free, and I have to believe that everything is possible for somebody else. So if I am a believer, if I believe in God, I believe in me, and I believe in my power to put into things and make things happen, I also believe that other people can do it. So that's why I said, hey, slow down, to my friend, and said she deserved to win. But when it comes to all the things that have been talking about right now, as soon as I hear PMMA or something like that, I was like, wait a minute. She's from Brazil. I had a personal friend that went through these injections before COVID, and she was suffering some injuries because, as every other girl wanted to get bigger legs and stuff like that. And she came to me and say, "Hey, I did this." Actually, she did it in Paraguay because it was illegal by that time in Brazil. And yeah, I saw the whole procedure. There's a white, very white liquid, resina, a plastic resin, and I knew it back in that time. Immediately, I told my friend, "Hey, this is gonna damage your muscle tissue. This is gonna cause problem because in some point back in that time, I told her eventually it will develop some issues because the tissue have to have blood flow, oxygen, and everything, and you're not doing the things right with this because in some point it will collapse. And well, after some years, eventually she started to suffer from the kidney. She started to start getting dialysis and shit like that, and have a surgery because all of the problems that the substance causing her problem. And I'm talking serious about this, and it surprised me that someone at the level of uh, Olympia competition level athlete fall into this idea of shaping their muscles with oil. It's absurd. It's something that it have to be criticized super big time. I will say, guys, to anyone out there, if you don't fucking have genetics, don't fucking pretend to become a bodybuilder, because if you then gonna be started to complain and shit, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not accepting these things at all. We fucking work harder, man. I was so inspired for Chris Cormier and magazine, for Flex Wheeler, that I was just working hard because I wanted to become one of them. And I saw the possibility because I saw their skinny pictures on magazines. So, and I always been trying to educate friends and say, hey, this is not the right things to do, injecting stuff like that. Even though you have to inject testosterone, inject it to school the form of your muscles. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. And even though you have to then face the situation that you're not going to be able to train as hard as is required to build the muscle, because that type of injections can tear your muscles, man. Come on. So it's crazy. I'm not accepting these things at all. And I'm not going to accept no one supporting those ideas.
Well, yeah, Dave seems to not, like he says, I don't give a fuck. Who gives a fuck about the athletes using it? And if you can't tell they're using it, who cares? He's like, everyone else does the synthol and SEO and now the PMMA, and it's fair playing field. If everyone's doing it, then what's the big deal? Well, the deal is that it's not fair, because there are people that don't use it, and it's you're getting an advantage. You're increasing the size of your muscle with this solution that goes into it. You're going to a doctor to have a procedure done, which is no different than going to a doctor and having plastic surgery done. And you're getting an unfair advantage over other athletes that are not using it. Yes. Has synthol been widely used in bodybuilding? Yes. Is it permanent? No, it's temporary. It's like when you make an injection in your delt with steroids, it gets a little swollen and inflamed, and your delt gets a little bigger, and it looks a little bigger, or whatever. You get a better pump, but that's just temporary. Okay. With this taken to the next level. This is way beyond synthol. This is permanent solution that stays in. It's very dangerous. Okay, I'm going to go over the side effects of this stuff. You got these young, like Natalia is only in her 20s, right? She's not that old.
Yeah, she's in her 20s. I think towards probably mid late 20s.
So in her 20s, young girl, beautiful girl, injecting stuff into the muscle. I'm not talking about breast implants. Okay, that's different. A woman can't go into the gym and build her breasts by working out hard in the gym and putting. There's no tissue there. Okay, so it's different. When people say, "Oh, it's just like breast implants," everyone does it. So what's it any different? Of course, it's different. you're changing the shape of an actual muscle. The breast isn't a muscle. So please stop with the comparison that it's lip filler, it's breast implants, they all do it, so who cares? No, once you start accepting that it's fine because they do breast implants, no, bodybuilding's done. It's just going to be a pad. It is. People already think it's a pageant, but it's just going to be more so just a beauty pageant where it's just
I will
all
tell you
fake.
something, just to make things really, really clear.
Yeah.
Look, bodybuilding is not into the Olympic sports because lacking on fucking education.
Yeah.
Because bodybuilders in all sense, so it's the people who can manipulate the metabolic system to make muscle work as much as they want. Understanding the metabolic function, understanding the biomechanic of the exercise, understanding muscle insertion, something that this doctor doesn't fucking understand because the way he's pointing the injection that he's gonna do, we don't even know where the muscle insertions are, where the muscle shapes is, because we will be able to do some better job that he's doing right there, but he doesn't. It's ridiculous that someone will try to make your muscle look good with injections. It's something that it doesn't fit my head. So to go back to what is the physiological way to build muscles, if you don't understand that, you are not able to do the things right. And that's why we have so many side effects, so many difficult statements on people trying to say that the bodybuilding is risky and it's not healthy. Bodybuilding is the most healthiest sport to do if you really apply fundamentals, if you really educate yourself. There is also retired bodybuilders talking about bodybuilding is not safe and the competition level is not safe because you don't understand, guys. Because if you really apply the things the right way, you're not going to have consequence. The thing is that you want to speed the process. That girl is younger and she don't even take a year off.
Yeah.
She's speeding all the process and that's why she want to get bigger. I don't gonna deny her the desire to win a show because we all want it. But to get to that point that you destroy your physique because you destroy your fucking career, you don't have chance no more. You're done. That's it.
It's Phil. So I want a little your take on this. You know, your true, honest feeling of the PMMA usage in bodybuilding today.
I mean, it's not just that. I mean, I'm against synthol as well, and I think
Yes.
Milo spoke on it in the past that synthol damages the muscle tissue
Yeah.
after continuous use. So this other thing is way worse than synthol. We're talking death, right? Listen, Natalia, I've met her. She's a sweet girl. She's been to a couple of shows where she spoke, talked about her journey from her being, a young lady working her way up through the sport. When she spoke, she speaks upon religion and faith,
Mhm.
and a lot of things that inspired me sitting there listening to everything she said and her journey and her whole spiritual life being of just how she came to the United States and whole thing, had her mom there and everything. So, and she's all about, was all about, I'm going to say, about natural. You'll see her, everything gut health, everything about natural recovery and all that. This is very shocking and disturbing to me that everybody wants to pay the price. It's like the devil coming to you and say, listen, I can give you everything in the world, money, fame, glamour. All I want is your soul. That's it. Which our soul is worth more than anything in this world, especially in the afterlife, right? So, but everyone would be willing to sell that just to win or be at the top of their game. It's very, very sad. It's sad regarding her. It's sad regarding anybody that's going to this place to get this done. Listen, bodybuilding is bodybuilding. That means working hard, developing the muscle tissues, improving your physique. I grew up watching it with every single competitor from Frank Zane, Arnold, Ronnie, Lee Haney. I mean, it goes on. Look at some of the bodybuilders today. Just look at their backs. You can't build a back. I don't want to mention any names, but you can't build a back to look like that. It's enhanced. So if anyone believes that this is okay, that's someone that's selfish, naive, and very ignorant. Because at the end of the day, when these people, after bodybuilding, if not before, something happens, infections, a limb got to get cut off, whatever the case may be, you're going to hear a total different story. Dave Palumbo knows better. This is a man that knows about science and pretty intelligent when it comes to, science and how it works and stuff like that. It's shocking to see his idiocy when he's speaking on behalf of the IFBB Pro League. And that is what he's doing. He's speaking on behalf of them to try to discredit the things that's being said. And that's fine. At the end of the day, when these athletes have to suffer something very severe, health-wise, everybody that's sitting there saying it's okay, their story is going to change. So at the end of the day, listen, be a bodybuilder, work hard, do what you're supposed to do to develop that muscle. If you don't have it genetically, don't try to embed it to shape or enlarge anything if you cannot work hard to get it. When you look at Natalia's leg, you could clearly see her legs, the separation, the dryness, the detail, it's not there. And also that right leg on the outer part of the quad looks a little bit bigger than the left leg. So you can see that there's something there. There's something there. Just look at the quads. It just, and it's
genetics. The genetic of her leg doesn't have a quad sweep, guys. This is fucking less than a year. So anyone that's like Dave or Aceto or who the fuck, I'm going to get upset here because this is fucking bullshit. You can't physically put a fucking sweep on your quad when you don't genetically have a quad sweep.
Exactly.
Stop it with this bullshit and trying to give it a pass, Dave Palumbo. Stop being a fucking loser and just recognize it's fucking happening and call it out. You stop caving to the fucking Manions and the Steve and all these fucking guys because you're fucking pussy and don't want to lose your fucking Olympia press pass, Dave Palumbo. Like, this is fucking bullshit. You used to call shit out, and now you cower to these men like a little child, Dave Palumbo. That's what you are. You're a little child compared to these men that are bossing you around because you're afraid to lose your fucking Olympia media press pass. Like it even fucking matters anymore to have a press pass. It's a joke. Bodybuilding is becoming a joke when you can clearly see the difference like this. And everyone's like, oh, it's okay. No, who knows? No, she did. And then she's completely denying it. As if she just took some miracle drug and grew 2-3 inches on her fucking quads.
No, we demand an X-ray. What the fuck?
So it's just Sarah was right to call it out, put her shit on the line, and got huge backlash because of it. And rightfully so. She called it out, put herself on the line to do it. And now I feel like Sarah has been vindicated here. And I think there's going to be more that comes out. And enough is enough with trying to cover this shit up like Dave is doing. And don't get me started on fucking Tarek El-Guindy.
Oh my God, man.
Okay, that's the next. Okay, let's get into that. Okay, let's get into Tarek. Okay, the expert he's never competed a day in his life, I don't think. Has he competed?
Not that I heard of, no.
Okay, it doesn't look like
brother. Look. Not to go bad, but his brother. His brother was a model for the FST7.
Yes.
So the fact that his brother was working with that type of coach, it is. Come on, man. You know that build muscles like that in 6 months and in 11 months, and not being a woman either.
Okay.
So he's trying to cover it, and for me, it was like, I can't believe it. Try to manipulate the conversation to make Chris doubt himself.
Let's play. Let's see. Maybe we can hear this. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
And I did not see anything on Natalia Coelho's physique that called to be suspicious. And I have a very good eye.
And you were
very good eye.
away.
Yeah, I have a very good eye. I've noticed a lot of things that other judges.
First off, look how nervous this looks like he's the eye movement. You just gotta like you. That's what you did, Phil. You used to watch people because that's what you used to do with your job, and you can see his eye pattern. He's fucking lying, man. He's
No, Tarek, hold on. You're right. I have a very good eye for butt implants,
but judges,
for shoulders,
judges,
for all that. Let me finish.
Shut up, fuck, Tarek. How fucking you cut off Chris Cormier? This guy's a fucking legend in our sport. And you have the balls to just continue to fucking dig at Chris Cormier and cut him off mid-sentence? Like, respect. Show some respect, Tarek. Who the fuck are you? Okay? How did you even get your fucking position in this? Okay? And you're going to fucking cut off Chris Cormier?
From his brother. He got it from his brother. His brother's the only reason why he's here.
Before I actually
judges,
okay,
get the clock in.
So
get the clock in.
You know what I mean?
See,
I did not see anything suspicious on Natalia Coelho's physique.
So, Tarek, you tell me this doesn't fucking look suspicious?
Even the dorsals, man, is cartoon.
Are you fucking blind, Tarek? Come on, you're a judge too. So a judge clearly said there's nothing wrong here. That, to me, you lose all credibility as a judge in this profession. If you can't see,
you know what's crazy? Other judges, he says, other judges tell him how special his eye is because he sees things that they can't see. Here's what I see for Tarek, and normally I won't go at Tarek, but since he's going to sit here and come after Chris Cormier, what Tarek needs to understand is I got a good eye.
Yes,
lose some weight, bro.
Yeah,
because you wear these tight suits, your tie barely fits, it hangs. I just hate to say it because if you're going to sit here and be a judge in a professional sport, but you look horrible and you don't look apart, but yet you're going to say you have the eye to notice butt implants, which they're there in the wellness category and even in the bikini. You know what I'm saying? It's there. Now, in the past, yes, they used to deduct points and push you down for it. They used to do that since they want to sit here and say, oh, if they see it, they'll mark them down. They're not doing that no more. This is a pageant of whoever can create a body that's more appealing for the judges. That's all it is. It's not work for it. It's called create it and shape it. So whatever you have to put in it to improve the things that we're asking you to do it. And we'll make sure you get the placings you need. So Tarek, he don't have the eye. I'm very sorry because he didn't have it at the Master Olympia, so he doesn't have it now. Okay? And if you want to speak upon anything, take care of yourself, take care of your health, look apart. You're a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and just looking at you, you don't look like that. So I don't think you have the eye at all for anything. I don't think any of the judges have this special eye, okay? Especially if you never competed before. How are you going to have an eye when you physically never went through a prep, nor trained like all these other bodybuilders that's truly training? If you have never done it, don't be a hypocrite and speak about it.
Exactly.
But let me put you on the spot and don't back down. Do you see?
Oh my God!
If you see imbalances, which we see a lot, it's part of bodybuilding,
okay,
right?
But
let me finish. Do you see anything here illegal? Do you think Natalia Coelho used synthol?
What I have to say is,
should have said PMMA.
If I had to be very, very, very honest about it, I would say it's not a normal to have, when you do a squat or whatever, you're not going to normally get a lot of development just on the outside and not on the inside. So, I mean, it could be, questionable. If you have a line that disappears and smooths out when you're clearly in great shape, that could tell you that something's been done there. But some people, you got to put something somewhere because obviously people are taking something to get bigger or to get harder. But then some people are trying to shape their body in a way to sway the judges because the judges don't know a lot sometimes.
Oh, man, I'm about to clock this. So
he was really good. He was really good.
Here's the moral of the story.
Yes.
And he was very dateable because Tarek was trying to mock him with a question, trying to make him doubt because trying to ask, oh, it's illegal. It's not about illegal or not. It's about what she's doing, trying to shape her body to mock the judges because, yeah, there is judges that never compete. I don't know how they get to be judges. But the point is that if she appears like that, let's say after a full year of being not competing, we all gonna accept it. We all gonna say like, damn, she fucking put into work. Let's see the off-season pictures, you know, because we recognize Dorian did it one year lockdown, and then he appeared like looking cartoon. We hear those videos where Kevin Lebroni and everybody's talking about, no, we saw Ronnie Coleman and we was like a fucking jog down to the floor because it was crazy, but it was a process. Still, she had the ability to do it, but the crazy non-stop narrative and not day off, everybody wants to make an off season and want to be lean the whole year. If you want to be big, if you want to aggressively grow, you know that you have to take a year or at least 6 months of off season and work harder, and it's possible. But like that, no. Trying to make it like no acceptable. You're gonna still lose her no matter what.
Anyone that's enhancing their body with anything, you can see when they compete that it is enhanced with other substance because it doesn't have the lines, the striations, it doesn't have the hardness, it doesn't have the details, it doesn't have the vascularity, it doesn't have it. It looks smooth. Like, look at her legs. It don't even look the way. I think last year they look better. Look at the striations, look at the development, look at the separation. And then you come over here and it just looks like a mini water buffalo.
Yeah.
Holding water.
And she's lean. She's
looks like
lean.
a little cellulite. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't look, it does, to me, it doesn't look attractive. And that's just what it is. It just isn't attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the lines, the deep lines they're gone. They're not, she's lean. She's just as lean as she was the year prior. Right. The delts. Look at the delts right there. It's kind of sloping. Then boom. Just
it's a
6 months.
pointy.
Yeah,
6
man. But like tricep, everything. She did everywhere. And the dorsal is crazy, man.
The lats.
The doctor went crazy on it. How people can believe in doctors like that, man? It's crazy. Even though any type of surgery, because doctors doesn't know anatomy the way we know.
Yeah, this guy, who knows what his training is and how he got his licensing in Brazil to do this stuff. And everyone's just running to him to get this done. And then wait till the people start coming back with pain and muscle disintegration. And then they got blood clots and they got discomfort and all this shit that's going on with the side effects of this. Let me show you here. Long-term side effects: hard lumps and bumps, distorted muscle shape, migrating material, chronic pain and discomfort, restricted movement, chronic infection or abscesses, scarring, right? So it's severe infection, sepsis, extensive tissue neurosis, that's tissue death. Okay. People are trying to say that's what's happening to Big Rami's legs. Maybe that's what they're saying, but I don't know if Big Ramy had this done. I don't think he would need to, and his legs are huge as they were, but so nerve damage, weakness.
Yep.
So this is forever. It's in your muscle. You have to get
it. And the end of his career is the end of her career because the tissue is damaged already, and that's nothing that is gonna fix it. So her legs never gonna look good again. That's gonna start to be messy, looking like it's grassy, cellulite, and shit like that.
Man, it's sad. It's sad that at such a young age to feel the pressure to do this. And, is it at the direction or the help from Tamer saying, hey, don't worry, come to Brazil and come and your legs are what need to improve. So she's young, she's impressionable, right? She can be manipulated most likely by, these executives that have all the power.
And if they are inviting you, of course.
Like, oh, come to the clinic. We'll take care of you. We'll get the legs bigger. We'll improve, we'll make the improvements, right? I don't think she's in her 20s understanding the PMMA stuff. So she's getting it from someone. Someone's getting in her ear and say, hey, come to, right? I'm just speculating here. But when you're that age, you're very impressionable, and you have these men that are intimidating. They're powerful men. And one thing leads to another, and then you get this done, and then you win the Olympia a couple months later. Like, it's crazy. So this is why the corruption comes into place. And the whistleblower is making the allegations that Tamer has a deal with this doctor, Fernando, where he brings these high-level athletes to the clinic, You know, they pay 20 grand for the process or whatever it is, and then they split the payment on this, and then he makes the money. Like, it's little backhanded deals and stuff, and it's just like,
You know what is crazy, honestly, that when Arnold Classic did the first Arnold Classic in Brazil, is when the IFBB noticed the big market that it could become.
Yeah.
And it happens. It happens. All man, Brazil have over 200 million people. It's huge. And bodybuilding is being growing in South America because of that country. That their people is naive and it's difficult to work with them because they need education. And whatever who comes first, it will make a lot of money. And these two brothers, they saw the chance and they have been doing that. And the fact that they are being with the IFBB Pro League in their backs, it makes everybody believe, and it's dangerous because it makes everybody support the idea that, oh, you can do that. It's a matter. Oh, that we have the support of the doctor. You're taking care of my health. Really? It's never been like that.
yeah, I don't even know if it's legal in the US. I think that's why they have to go to Brazil or wherever to get this stuff done. And the thing is too, so what do we want from this? First off, I'm not coming at Natalia. I think she's wonderful. She's a champ, right? She did what she needed to do. But I'm coming down on the powers that be, the executives, people, this doctor is performing this shit on these people. That's who I'm coming down on. And so what do we do to come up with a solution for this? Because we can talk about it, but we need a solution for this, if there is any. And the thing is, there's no rules or regulations in bodybuilding that I know of under the Pro League that specifies no synthol use, no SEO use, right? And obviously, there's no way to enforce it. Okay, it's too expensive to take X-rays and do all this shit with these bodies. There's too many athletes. So, but there should be a deterrent that if it's suspected you are using this stuff, you'll get fined, you'll get banned for 2-3 years. Maybe if there's at least a deterrent listed somewhere under the rules, less athletes would do this. And we start going back to the way the bodies used to look in the 90s and the 2000s before they started using all this crap. More clean looking muscle, separated muscle would come back. But it doesn't seem like the Pro League is even taking the steps to talk about this openly. If Tyler came out and made a video and say, hey guys, no more of this synthol. We can see it. Here's an example or something, right? And call it out. But they don't call it out, so it's running rampant. And I guarantee it, unfortunately, people are going to see this PMMA stuff now that it's circulating more and they made this video. They're probably going to do it now more, right? And it's just it's a shortcut. But I'm telling you guys, athletes, if you're watching, don't do it. Don't just do the hard work. You're a bodybuilder. You're supposed to build your body with your own hard work, not with putting PMMA into your muscles for a quick fix.
It's noticeable. Everybody who is into bodybuilding as a judge, he might never compete, but he recognize a physique. The thing is that most of the judges should work together and try to build a good standard. Choose the athletes that are aesthetic, that guys, that they're putting to work, they posing good, they presenting themselves as a professionals, like a real professional. They just not the big guy. They just not the freak. Invite the athletes to present themselves in the athleticism the bodybuilding used to be back in the day, because the competition in the 70s and the 80s, these guys presenting a big huge physique and good conditioning, but at the same time the way they present themselves posing, it shows the art that you were really into, show something special out of your passion in bodybuilding. Muscle connection, muscle attachment, muscle synergy, muscle transition when you're posing. So what's happening with you guys? You not even stand in the front relaxed pose as the guys in the 90s. And when it comes to that, is all symmetry, geometry. I learned to pose reading magazines step by step how to pose. You guys today just want to be the big guy, so you are showing yourself as a lazy. I don't care if you are so conditioning because you do the hardcore diet. No, you even thought having chance better because you relate your diet to a lot of sugar free and sodium free and fat free stuff. So focus on do the most simple thing and focus on presenting yourself, because at the end of the day, if you work on mobility, if you work on flexibility, you're always gonna be healthy. Like Clarence here, a big example. At his age, he's still moving, he's still acting, he's still looking really good. He's not aging because he's working to make his better, his life, his body better every day. And everybody can do. But if you only gonna just relate on being the big guy on the stage, the judges have to somehow sanctionate you, not giving the first place, because at the end of the day, they're gonna take this out of control. But if they still choosing aesthetic and good presentation and good behavior, people will start to filter and redefine bodybuilding the proper way.
Okay. Well said. And go ahead.
Bodybuilding is out of control already. It's been out of control. And here's the thing: we can't even say we can't every athlete has a responsibility for themselves. But when you have a pro league that is rewarding these things, I'm gonna say it again. I said it before. IFBB pro bodybuilders that's doing whatever and however it takes to win. You are a guinea pig for the pro league. They sit behind their big desk, and I'm telling you this, and they laugh. How much money can we make with these top athletes before one of them goes? And we have to have a backup for the next one that's going to take over. Stop abusing your body for winning. Stop selling your soul for winning. Train hard, do what it takes to build the body that was created, God knows back when Joe Weider started all this. Those are the physiques that were bodybuilding, when Arnold and all those guys together training and busting their butt in the gym. That's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
This is just a straight freak show, and it's out of control. And it's because the judges are allowing it to happen because they believe it's going to make money. But clearly it's not. That's why athletes ain't getting paid on the Olympia level, Master Olympia level, and so forth and so on. So evidently, the money is not being made.
Yeah, a good point there. I'm going to come into the next kind of topic here, which is the Open Olympia and then Masters as well. But before we transition over to that, Derek Lunsford. Okay, Chris Aceto was on RX Muscle today, and he was calling me out and saying that I'm making accusations or allegations. He's playing with that word. Aceto, Chris Aceto. I wasn't saying that Derek Lunsford had the PMMA injections. I'm saying, and even the whistleblower also didn't say. They didn't confirm it. They said he was at the clinic. When they asked the doctor about Derek Lunsford, the doctor just smiled, had a grin on his face, didn't say anything, didn't say no, didn't say yes, just smiled and walked away. You can take from that what you want. I don't know why the doctor wouldn't just say, no, he didn't do it. I didn't do that, Derek. Take from that from what you want. But I never said that Derek did PMMA. I just said it's a little funky that he's at the clinic with this doctor. His coach, Fabricio, had the PMMA injections done on his chest. Okay. There's been lots of speculation in the past with regards to Derek and his lats, and you can see the lumps on his lats there, right? Is that because something was done there? I don't know. I don't have proof of it. All we can do is speculate. That's what we do. That's all we can do, right? The biceps, again, people think stuff happens there with it. Speculation. So no, Chris Aceto, Dave Palumbo, I'm not making the accusations. Okay, the whistleblower was. And then I'm just trying to connect the dots, and we can speculate from there. But I've never once said that Derek Lunsford has done PMMA injections. So I'm going to put that on the record. I have not said that. So stop trying to put words in my mouth, Chris Aceto. Chris Aceto's a smart man. I don't necessarily not like Chris Aceto, but some of the things he says and some of the like just straight up protecting Derek, and I get he's he's gonna have bias towards Derek, but he can't call out anything. He can't call out Derek's arms. He can't call out Derek's lats. He's got to just ride the line, and I get it, but everyone and their grandmother can see that it just looks a little weird. The muscles are smoothed out. They're blurry. This isn't Ronnie Coleman. This isn't Cormier. This isn't Lavronish style quality muscle Yates. This doesn't look like this. And then you have Ronnie Coleman in an interview with Eddie Hall saying, if you competed against these guys, against Derek Lunsford, how would you do? And Ronnie just laughs. He's like, I wouldn't even have to train that hard to beat these guys. What does that say about today's athletes? When the former champions can just laugh, be like, of course not. This would be a walk in the park to beat these guys. So, like, bodybuilding has lost its way in that respect, because these athletes would not even come close to touching Ronnie Coleman or Dorian Yates, right? Even like Dexter and these guys, like, it's not close in my opinion with the quality of muscle. So it's bodybuilding has taken a step backwards in my opinion. Sure, the prize money for the Olympia is more, and the Arnold is more, and those are good steps forward in that direction. But with the quality of muscle, all this PMMA and synthol that's reckless, and you can see it in these bodies, is just a terrible look for the sport. It's a terrible look for younger athletes that see this, that are 18, 19, they want to get into this, and they hear about PMMA and synthol, and they want to do a quick fix. Then they end up doing it, and they end up getting an arm amputated because it gets infected with the shit. And it's just a terrible look. It's not healthy. It's bad enough we have to take all the drugs. On top of it, now we got to do all this other shit. So it's a bad look. And for Cito just to stand by and Palumbo to stand by it and say, well, we can get away with it. Why not? Who cares? Who gives a fuck? In Dave Palumbo's words. It's just okay. That's what you want to put out there? Okay. Manions, you're good with that? You're good with Dave pretty much condoning this in the sport? All right. Steve Weinberger, anything to say? Tyler, you cool with this stuff? Dave seems to be cool with it. Anything goes, I guess, in the pro league. Anything goes.
It's crazy, man, because the fact that it's a big offense to all of the champions before.
Yeah.
Absolutely an offense.
It's kind of like we're all fans of bodybuilding, and obviously if you guys are pros and you've been there, done that, and it's just like, is it going to get any better? Are we ever going to see like a Ronnie Coleman? Are we ever going to see a Dorian Yates type of quality muscle? Like even Phil Heath was kind of the last of the, guys that had that type of muscularity and cuts and dents. Even he was suspected of doing some things, but it's still, that was like the last of it. And ever since then you have Samson, and it's the quality.
It's the maturity that comes with condition. The problem is that the guys are bumping too much, and that causes inflammation. They're not resting. They're not doing the things right. They are speeding the process. And when we speed the things, I mean, where the food goes before go to the muscles, go to the belly. Where the substance go before go to the muscles, before the process, they go to the receptors, to the organs. These kids are taking too much, and even if they're not taking the drugs too much, they doing too much in the gym. They training super harder. They not resting enough, and that's what caused the problem. And then when they go to the show, they started to go crazy with things, and the body don't rest, don't react correctly, and they ended up showing inflammate, like a bloated skin, and that doesn't give them the details that these guys back in the 80s and the 90s used to have. This is one point. And the other one is just that they not giving themselves, the body, the time to react to what they're supposed to do. That's why everybody, like, if we see those videos of like Vince Taylor, man, the condition that guy has and the physique that guy had, the way they move, it was like they can control every muscle. Like nowadays, I will tell you this is one, I really wanted to talk about this one. So even though there is athletes who are doing vacuum
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
stage, trying to show that, oh, I can hit the vacuum. Yes, you can hit the vacuum, but you're still not able to control the diaphragm. Because one thing I have been learning so far with this practice, look at that, is that you can look at that thing, man. Just standing like this, he become the Mr. Olympia in
Yeah.
this era. 100%. He don't have to do much. Look at that. Look,
Yeah, man. This is a miss these days. This is
my God, there is no one physique that we can relate today, something like this.
yeah.
Oh, even Melvin Anthony. Like
Yeah.
every move, every fiber,
Yeah.
everything moves with the body. Yeah, you do not see that anymore.
Bro. So when these guys don't present something like this, the judges should call them out and say, hey, advise them, you know, I need more size. Work on aesthetic presentation. I had a smart idea one day and I came over Per Bernal, the photographer, and I asked him, "Hey,
Yeah.
brother, you take picture of Fliss Wheeler, you take picture of Chris Cormier back in the day, the Dexter Jackson when they were in their real peak. What do you think I should do to look like them?" And he was like, "You have everything. You just have to get a little more conditioning. Don't try to reach any more pound on size." And that is what makes me like slow down a little bit. That's when I started to get in a real good condition. I get third in California, then I get second again, and things like makes me really bright because I get to understand what I was doing was wrong, trying to get as big as possible. I was already big, but I couldn't see it,
Yeah.
and that's
That's
happening with everybody. How,
so look at that.
man?
Look at
I
that.
compete in one show in Toronto with Samson, and Samson was already fucking huge because
Yeah.
it was there with me. It was my size. Look at those arms. Look at that.
Yeah.
So,
You don't see
bro,
that. You don't see stuff like that
You
anymore.
don't see it anymore,
no,
man. And you can look how big it is. You think there's synthol and shit in there to get it that big? No, that's just right. Look how big it is. So it's just like that's his hard work, man. This doesn't. They didn't need anything technology or special drugs or shit. They were just taking tests and what D balls and dino.
Oh my
And
God.
that's it. That's all. I don't think he was using GH back then.
No,
like-
and if they did, it was very little. It was like
and
1
work.
IU, 2 IU. Everything they did back there was all low,
Yeah.
all low dose,
Like,
because they had the real stuff back then. Now we have all this underground labs. You don't even know what the hell you're actually taking. It'll tell you it's Winstraw. It'll tell you it's D-ball. They don't know what they're taking. They just load up on whatever it is to get big and achieve greatness. That's it.
Man, I miss these. This is just.
No, come on, bro.
So yeah, it is. So a little trip down memory lane there. But let's go into the next topic in regards to the thumbnail I used today about the Olympia. And people, I put a video out and I said, you know, the Olympia competitors are still not paid 8 weeks later. I was talking about the Open Olympia. Yeah, we're already dealing with the Masters Olympia. I was talking about the Open Olympia, and I spoke to an athlete that competed in the 2012 Mr. Olympia, Open Olympia, and they, which will remain anonymous, okay, been competing in the Olympia, the Arnold for many years. So you can speculate who it is. They had not been paid for 8 weeks, and since the Olympia took place, usually it takes 2 to 3 weeks, is what they said. Usually 2 to 3 weeks were paid, not a problem, and everything's submitted properly, and still no payment. And so so this is the Open. This is why we're saying, me and Phil have been adamant on here that there is issues with the Olympia and the money. There's financial issues. They haven't been making money since before Jake Wood bought it. You got to guys realize the Olympia was owned by AMI, David Pecker, okay, the AMI group, okay. It was losing money, so they had to offload it. Okay, they were going under. They were $450 million in debt. AMI. They had to get rid of the Olympia. It was a fucking loser. They had to get rid of that. It was losing the money, right? So they tried to sell it to Arnold. Arnold said, "Fuck no, I'm not buying this. It's losing money." Okay. The Rock, no, not buying it. losing money. Sylvester Stallone, staying away from that shit. No money. Dan Solomon, remember, he's working with AMI, David Becker, because they own it. So Dan Solomon was working with him. So Dan was like, Jake Wood. I know this guy, Jake Wood. He the Wings of Strength, right? He's sponsoring the Olympia. Let's approach him. Dan puts the meeting together between AMI and Jake Wood. They sell it to Jake Wood for $20 million plus the 3 magazines, total $70 million. He bought the magazines, guys. First off, that's the first mistake. Magazines were dead back then. And did he look at the P&L statements, the profit and loss statements? I guess not, because I know those magazines aren't making no money. So Jake Wood buys this $70 million investment into the Olympia in these magazines, and then he's not making any money. And he's propping this up out of his pocket. He's paying this prize money. The sponsors, there's not enough money in the sponsorships in the booth. The Olympia has been getting smaller and smaller in the expo. It's not growing. There's less booth sponsors. There's less sponsors that realize that we just do online marketing. We don't need to go to these expos anymore. So they're losing money there. Okay, it's a terribly run show. Dan Solomon doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, running this production and the lighting and the stage and the background. It sucks. Year after year, he continues to fail at his job. Okay, it's not making any money. Jake Wood thought that bringing back women's bodybuilding would be a good idea as an investment. Obviously not. It's not appealing to the mass market in bodybuilding.
Wow.
He does that. Okay, that's a terrible business move on Jake Wood's part. And then he buys the Olympia. It's a failing business, and he thinks he's going to revive it, start profiting off this, when the sport is basically, in my opinion, is not really growing. It did a little bit during cbum's reign, but now after that, cbum's gone, and like, what's left? Right? He's the one that kind of propped it up during his 6-7 years, right? So now that's gone. They're clinging on to cbum desperately to have him involved still. So, and still haven't paid all the Masters Olympia competitors. I think Dorian Haywood just got paid last week, and he won the show. And he's getting paid like last, right? Like, what the fuck is going on? So connect the dots here. There's obviously issues with money. You can't pay these athletes on time. Japan promoter doesn't pay the athletes, so Jake Wood has to try and step in and pay. And then even at that, it's been like, I don't know, a month and a half since he made that announcement. And these people are still waiting. They're still waiting to get paid. Bills are piling up. They have families. They flew all the way to Japan and all this expenses, and they're still out of pocket. This is the problem right now with the people that are in charge. They're more focused on making an Olympia documentary to get it on Prime, Amazon Prime, so they can showboat themselves and make them look like they're this big company and the Olympia is so great. And I'm Dan Solomon, go buy my book, make me more money. Well, these athletes are struggling. So if you guys can't see it, I think people see it. People see in the comments are like, it's 99% people are like, this is stupid. What are they doing? And then they don't increase the prize money for the Olympia. Another red flag. They can't because they're losing money. They move from the resorts world. First, Dan Solomon was like, Olympia is growing. We're at the resorts. We're spending more money. Oh, our big shots, Olympia. Palms Casino Hotel. Downgrade. Why? Why are they moving from resort? You don't got the money? Dan? Jake? Can't keep the big prestigious resorts world? Because you're losing money. It's very clear. Now you have to downgrade, downsize to the Palms. You got to go back to the Orleans. You're supposed to level up in this and not go backwards to the old dilapidated Orleans area. Like, it's clear. Like, this is backwards now. So the signs are there. Now you have Olympia open competitors not paid on time. Got to wait 2 months. Still, it's almost Christmas. Still not paid. And you got the Masters Olympia competitors still not paid. Some of them. It's embarrassing. And guys, if Jake Wood says I can't do this anymore, no one else is going to be able to afford to buy the Olympia. Okay, so what happens there? Jake cuts his losses and says I can't do it. So now there's no more Mr. Olympia. So what I think is going on is they're propping up this Pittsburgh Pro Show. They're propping up this Pittsburgh, making this big deal about the Pittsburgh Pro Show. And if the Olympia goes away, well, we need another show to be the top show. And it'll probably be the Pittsburgh Pro. And the Manions will just take over that, because if there's nothing that leads to the Olympia anymore, because it has to go away, because it's just it's a money loser, they need something to push these athletes through the funnel to the top show, the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. There's a potential that the Mr. Olympia may no longer be around in a few years, guys. And we're trying to give you the warnings here, show you the warning signs. It's not good right now. Then take it serious.
Talking about business, that scenario looks perfect. Because one thing that wasn't clear for me was why they don't pay the athletes if they are making so much money. But now I realize that the Manion and the Olympia is not the same administration. So when we are speaking about the IFBB athletes were growing in Brazil, growing in over the seas, Asia, and all those countries, we are speaking about everyone who have to register himself and the IFBB have to pay over $100. Let's say there is 200,000 athletes around the world. $100 they have to re-enter every time there is a show. So no matter what that promoter is doing the show, they still have to pay to Gene Manion. And in a way, Gene Manion is filtering everybody to his show. If the Mr. Olympia dies, that's gonna be the biggest show in earth about bodybuilding.
Well, we have to start preparing here, because we're getting to a time in bodybuilding where, unfortunately, Arnold has had, I think, 5 or 6 heart surgeries. Okay. And he's getting older. And you know, God forbid, at some point Arnold passes away just due to old age and health. That's going to shock the bodybuilding world. And it's going to, does the Arnold not around anymore? Is it the same without Arnold? You have to think about those things and how it's going to change the environment and the landscape of pro bodybuilding. You know, Arnold's potentially going to be gone, and then the Olympia might not be around, and like it's changing, guys. I think we're getting to we've peaked, and things need to change, and I think the change is going to be coming at some point. But
you got to look at it too, Matt. You got to look at it like some promoters are not even doing open shows anymore. They're pushing more master in their shows. Look at how more shows now is pushing a lot of master in their shows, because remember, every Master Olympia Pro has to pay $250 just to compete. You know what I'm saying? So now we have open where we have to pay the minions for the sanction fee, but we could have the Master Olympia. We don't got to pay for nothing, and they pay us. That's why you look at it, they're pushing the master so much, but yet, look what they said in the beginning. Who cares about master competitors? They're old, and old guys that's trying to get in shape. But they don't say that when they're taking all their money for the entrance fee to get into a show. Now remember, who pays entrance fees? Amateurs. So how the hell can a Master Olympia consider himself as a pro when you went right back to paying an entrance fee as a professional? That means you're not a professional to them. Pay us our money and jump on there as old amateurs so we could collect a fee. So just think about that. Amateurs pays entrance fees. Why should a pro, regardless of him becoming masters, have to pay as a professional athlete to enter and compete in a show? That's the sad part. That's how you know bodybuilding is going down.
And the other thing here is, I will tell you something, that because when it comes to master, it doesn't have to be related to the age of the athlete. Master should be the athlete who fucking master his fucking craft.
There you go.
What the fuck?
They should be getting more respect because they're showing longevity and health.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's what a master means.
Man, think we could come up with the ideas here. I think they don't. It's just they don't think they care, to be honest. But it shows. It shows. But let's transition into before we wrap it up. Samson Dauda making the announcement. I'll play it here for you guys real quick. Why not? And then we'll wrap it up after there. About an hour now. So, all right.
To professional coaches, will you consider hiring someone ever? Yes, man. Oh, 100%. If I know there's somebody out there that we definitely click and their style definitely matches something that I can do, and they can bring something new to our repertoire, then 100%, yeah, we will do. But, right now, especially in the industry, I don't think there's anybody that I can sort of see that I can match that. Technically.
So, Phil, when you heard that, what's your thoughts on Samson opening the door? That's a big deal. He doesn't have to say that. He could just be, no, I'm good with Marlena and we're good. I'm not thinking about hiring another coach. He just opened the door for that. Do you think he's pondering potentially hiring a new coach? Like, why say that? Why start the fire?
What he said, honestly, I sat back and listened to it a couple of times. It's not really sitting directly well with me because it's not really making any sense. Because if you hear him at the end, he said he just don't see that in any coaches right now at the present time. So do we think that there's going to be a miracle coach that's going to arise later on in a few years, especially with bodybuilding hurting financially? No. Honestly, I don't know why he said it. I probably is answering a question to enlighten his fans, to give some charisma to everything that's going on. I don't know, because we're really limited with the coaches right now. If you're looking at the top so-called elite coaches, probably if people look more towards coaches that's not elite, but coaches that really care about health and preserving the body, you may want to pick that. But I don't know why he said that. I'm still trying to process it and understand it. And then saying at this point there's no coaches out there he believes for that to happen now. It's like it's just a two-way street. I'm not understanding. I can't understand, and I won't understand.
Man, I will tell you something. I have been criticizing him because he always want to feed people's like ideas, and he should know. I mean, the fact that he tell his wife to help him at some point, because it was his wife who helped him to become pro, whatever. I will say just stay with it, bro, because what you're doing and what you are showing for real, and I will say because you can say, Phil, try and error is what is being given us the authority. So he still not figured it out. And if he don't want to stay in a program, because why did you become to be so huge and then your body, you don't know how to respond at that point? To all of us, it's not the same. I will explain you guys. To all the listeners, it's not the same for somebody at 230 pounds to get in shape at 210 or 220, for somebody at 300 to become to get in shape at 250 or 270. Our body responds different. Our bodies slow down a little bit here and there because the amount of muscle, the amount of things that we require to keep that muscle tissue and everything else working properly, it demands a lot of energy. So what happened with us is, even if we are eating 4 or 5 meals a day of carbohydrate, but we have 4% body fat, we're gonna feel like we're not eating enough. And just to move all normally, like think about it, please. The amount of muscle that we hold require a lot of oxygen. And just to move like this from here to here, it requires too much energy. And that stress the body. That stress the internal nervous system. We are walking around with 300 fucking pounds of muscle, but we are operating in an obese system, like a motherfucker obese bodybuilder, because everybody's building a fucking body. Everybody's a bodybuilder. Some bodybuilders use the right information, food, and everything else, and some others just don't. They use food, they feed their bodies, but doesn't give any nutrients, so they ended up looking like shit, right? So for us, it's difficult. So we have to spend a lot of time figuring out our own bodies. And it looks like he's not giving himself the time. And that makes every coach who comes to work with him mess the shed up, because he doesn't stop in some way. He should be around 290 pounds all the time, and from there started to move things down little by little, and he's gonna find it if he spend the time. It's not that his physique is weird. It's not that his physique, because who's gonna work with who? Okay, work with the guy who was working with Ronnie Coleman back in the day. But even though Ronnie Coleman was different to everyone else, because only that athlete was the only athlete who Chuck Nickel could work good with it. Nobody else after him. So
Yeah, he's
there
just
is athletes
genetically
that
blessed.
should
Ronnie Coleman.
stay with one coach and remind with the coach until you figure it out.
It's
Yeah,
very, listen, it's very, very tough, Matt. I'm gonna make this short.
Yep.
To work with your significant other, your wife, your girlfriend. It's always gonna be a conflict of interest. Because I truly believe that Marlenka have a vision, but now she has to battle with Samson saying, no. I just don't agree. That's where the problem is coming in. So if you have that issue, you're going to have it with any coach you choose to hire. You have to be met in the middle. Like we said, he went dramatic with the weight loss, which we were all giving him signs 5 weeks out, 4 weeks out that it was too much. Taper back a little bit. He didn't take heed to that, so he kept pushing it. Look where it got him. Okay, well, now I need to be bigger than what I was when I won to come in freaky and super big. That logic makes no sense. So, yeah, working with someone that really loves you, they're going to look at your health and everything in consideration. But you as that athlete, you're always going to push back at them. And of course, they're not going to stick to their guns, because that damages a marriage. You get what I'm saying? So they're going to say, okay, well, we'll do it your way. So no matter what coach, if he was to get in the future, unless Samson could just look at himself and realize what's going to work, you have to meet in the middle. We can't go all the way here. Super shredded doesn't work. We can't go all the way here and not come in decent condition. It's not going to work. So I wish him the best.
Yeah, going from what he did, downsizing for the Olympia this year, and trying to bounce back up when he's 153 kgs. It doesn't make sense, the strategy. And it seems like it's just a rush, kind of like, oh, well, we got too small, so we're just going to come back and just get as big as possible, when that's not healthy. First off, okay, on your heart and your body. And then, secondly, we don't need you to be any bigger, Samson. Judges aren't asking for that. And just because you're getting bigger doesn't mean your body's going to get better. And you're already kind of not lacking the quality detail that Ronnie and Phil and these guys used to display. And now you're just going to come and get bigger, and it's going to probably distort your muscle a little bit, and your midsection can come back into the foreground again, because that was an issue before, and then you brought it back. You did a good job.
How old is he? Is he 40? He's 40? He's got to be 40.
I think he's 40.
That's what I'm saying. So the size game at an older age, it does not work. I know that for a fact. It does not work.
I'm trying to check his age. 39. Yeah, 39. So just about 40. So,
yeah.
I mean, 39, he's got time. Like, he's got, a good 5 years in him if he wants, because he's got good genetics. But
yeah, I don't know. I can't agree with you with that one.
Bro, look, you
not
all see
330
this.
and 350.
That's what, yes. Depends what he does. Right. Yeah, you're right.
We all saw Dexter going
Yes.
up little by little, and at one point he was really big, but his muscle were like losing definition. He knows it, and then he show up a little downside, but he was shredded. So it doesn't work for anybody, because you just create inflammation and doesn't allow your body to show the details.
Look at this.
Hmm.
I mean, what do you guys, as you look at him like this, is this the lean enough? Is this the good lean, or is he?
Yeah. It's
Eh,
a good lead for 330 pounds. Absolutely,
Yeah.
it is. He had his abs. I mean, it's good, definitely good. But at the end of the day, like I told you last week, put on all that weight, you still got to cut weight. You're going to have to cut at least 40 pounds, if not possibly 45, 50 pounds. And then you're right back where you were originally at anyway. At three. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Come on.
yeah.
You know what happened too? That you see that they start lacking and control the muscles, and they cannot pose because we get tighter, man. 330 pounds. I get to 350, 318 one point, and you get tighter. You get tighter eating. You get tighter just posing. It's like, So I understand that part, but then you're not conditioning to get ready for the show because you're lacking all the time the stress of training, the stress of carrying so much weight, so much
Yeah.
muscle. You're suffering the whole time. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
making any sense.
Can't tie your shoes, can't get up out of bed. You got to get help. I'm sorry,
Exactly.
man. No.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with Samson. He's not doing the Arnold. I know that. I don't think he's doing the Arnold. He's full blown right now, and it's getting closer and closer to the Arnold. So we know he's not doing the Arnold. We'll see. He's got a full year to come back better, and I hope he does. Right?
And Nick Walker made sure he put everybody on notice. I hope you guys saw that. Nick Walker did put people on notice that he's coming to the Arnold too.
Okay, I didn't see that.
He's doing good, man, and somebody I really like to see him just working and getting better because he's taking any criticism as information for him to get better, and he's smarted on that way. He noticed that he downsized a little bit, and then his skin is looking better because it's no inflammation. He's giving his body a little time to relax, so he's seeing the good effect of slow down a little because he already got the thickness, he already got the size. He just have to let that like inflammation goes out in his body, and now he's showing real peak condition and everywhere, and without putting too much effort into make it happen, just because the maturity he have for all of the years of building, and the way he work out is very precise, so everything's gonna working for him really good right now. The only thing he needs to continue doing is eating less so he cannot keep that stomach dilatation, so he can really suck it up until he make his stomach flat again when we were kids. So that will help him to perform a better front double bicep. I speak to him and I send a message explaining that you need to create more rotation between your pick arms so you can rotate to perform the proper lat spread, because that's the only thing he has, and it's because so much thickness that at some point the muscle lose the ability to rotate in the joints because of the muscle shortness due to the thickness he's have been built. But it's somebody who I would like just to conquer his dream no matter what, But he's a good listener and he's been put into work and he's showing.
Yeah, man. I think Nick is, at the end of the day, I always say Nick's a good guy. He's great for the sport in a sense. He's got a great attitude and he's confident and he's funny and it's great. He's good. I think it'd be kind of boring without Nick Walker around. Unfortunately, I just think the structure has kind of been peaked out, and maybe he can kind of streamline his physique a little bit, and we'll see how it looks against a guy like Andrew Jacked and Hadi Choopan. That because Hadi's going to Arnold, so it's gonna be Hadi, it's gonna be Andrew, it's gonna be Martin. They all got tight waists, and then it's gonna be a battle up there. And then you got Nick Walker, who is gonna look good. I'm assuming he's gonna look good, shredded, big, but the structure. And then you're at the Arnold, and Arnold's sitting in the front row. And I don't know what Arnold feels about Nick Walker, but I think he's going to kind of sway towards Andrew. And not saying Arnold's going to tell the judge what to do. I don't think that's happening. Yeah. He's not.
He just voices his opinion sometimes very strictly and rudely, but
he's not going to be like, this pick Andrew to win, or none of that. Arnold doesn't do that. But yeah, the Arnold Classics, you want someone with the classic lines, and Andrew and Hadi not necessarily doesn't have the most classic lines, but he got the vacuum and things like that. And these guys, all three guys except for Andrew doesn't really do a vacuum, but Martin, Hadi, and that's it. That's gonna the top guys can do vacuums, then Nick can't.
But
So
I wanna know your opinions, guys. I mean, Andrew Jackett has the frame, the structure,
yes,
but I don't like his posing, man. I think he could pose better, a little better.
yeah, he still
Yeah,
needs to work on.
he's getting there. He's getting a little bit better than what he was last year.
Yeah.
There's some things he can open up some more, but I think that they're going to put together, between Kamal and Chris Aceto, I think they're going to put together a pretty damn good package for the Arnold, because his posing is getting better little by little. It's not perfect, but it is getting better.
Yeah.
But Tarek
Because-
is saying he needs to put on 5 more pounds.
Where? What the
Where?
fuck? And
Probably
the
Tarek
hamstring?
need to give him 5 pounds off of himself. I don't know.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he just needs to refine it a little
That's
bit. I still liked his Olympia look better than this look, even though he's fuller here, I guess. But and it's different lighting
Yeah.
too. Let's be honest. It's
Yeah,
different lighting.
they're pushing fullness, man. You can
Yeah.
come in super. They want the combination of both. That's just how they are.
Yeah.
What I would like him to be a little more like he knows he have the package, he have the structure, more flawless, more smoother when
Yes.
he's posing, like he knows he's about to win the show, like more relaxed and a little more flow in some of the mandatories, because he's trying to show like as frame, but motherfucker, you already are as frame. You can like a
Yeah.
slide down, do some type of twisting stuff that it makes you look aesthetic, classic, and you separate
Look
from
at
the
that.
rest.
That's
Because the
ridiculous.
problem is no, I don't know. He looks insecure. That's the problem.
We have to remember he turned pro in 2022.
Yeah, he's still a fresh pro, man.
3 years, guys. 3 years he's been doing this.
Brothers, but once again, I will tell you something. I was a good poser, even though I wasn't
I
competing
think
my first time.
I was about to say that. I was about to say it. Just you either have it or you don't with this posing stuff, and you have to love bodybuilding so much that you're willing to take. You can just twist and turn, and you just have the feel.
Yeah.
You can the transition. You don't. Some people just don't. Just like some people can't dance. You just can't go on the dance floor and you look awkward because you can't.
Then he has to work on
Right?
it. Because that's
Yeah,
the only
listen,
thing we
if
have
ju-
to
if
work on.
judging-
The
if
rest of the
judging
things
was-
you're gonna have it no matter what.
If the
He's
posing
already
was
in
getting
condition.
judged, they would be getting better. But the posing's not getting judged.
That's
That's
true.
the whole thing. Why these guys are not working on the posing? It's not being judged.
It used to be back in the day.
Yes,
They used to
back in the 90s, yes. And that's why you saw all that creativity, the smoothness, just the muscle fibers popping and moving and popping and locking. But once they took that out, these guys are just coming up here hitting the basic mass monster poses, and that's good enough for them.
Yeah. Just think about it. Imagine the pressure if they knew that they were being scored on their posing and their performance and stuff like that. Like it would. Why don't they bring that back? Why don't they have it?
I think that'll make a big impact on bodybuilding. It makes it way more entertaining.
Think about it. I know Manuel used to hit up the stage and put on a routine, right? Like you could. That's missing. So it's just like I don't know. I don't know why they remove these things and make it more mundane and boring and
Probably because they used to be focused on the money, man. Oh my god. Because another thing is that the promoters I don't know. It's no more about the bodybuilders, guy. It's because the promoters put a screen behind the athletes that doesn't allow the judges to see the athletes as it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
the background is supposed to be fucking black.
Yeah, that's changed too. And that's the thing too.
All
Nick
of these
Walker's
little
posing.
details, what it shows is that they are putting a show to profit themselves. It's not to really appreciate the presentation of the athletes.
Nothing for the bodybuilders. It's all for themselves. That's it.
Yeah.
And if we want to give an idea, if we want to build something to favor bodybuilding and not criticize, I'm talking about others, to give a good example, what we need to do is, you promoters, whatever who have the idea to promote a show, or we support a show, let's speak how we would like the show to be built. What we expect from that promoter, because if there is no athletes, there is no fucking show. So then there is no money for no fucking one.
Yeah, that's right. Athletes have the control here. But yeah, I missed the Lee Haney routines and the Flex Wheeler routines, man. Like, right? It's gone, man. It's gone. Do you know why they got rid of the posing, like judging the posing round and symmetry round? Like,
I think somebody wanted it gone because Milos was complaining that they took it away because he never wanted. Somebody voted for it to be taken out and wasn't judged. I can't recall who it was.
yeah.
Because Milos was against it. He was always big on posing.
Yeah.
Probably was our boy Bob Ciccarello.
Probably Bob. Yeah, this guy said supposedly it was Bob.
God name oh my God.
Fucking Bob. Jesus. Okay. Anyways, guys, we'll wrap it up. Been an hour and 20.
Man.
Let's not forget that Masters Olympia athletes. Please get them paid. Please get the competitors paid at the Olympia. Enough is enough. We don't want this to go on, guys.
It's going bankrupt.
Oh my God! Okay. Let's not. That might happen, but anyways, let's move on. All right. Well, we're back next week for Monday Night Bodybuilding here on Muscle Discord, guys. Manuel Romero, Phil Clayhart. Thank you, guys. See you all next week.
You guys have a good night. Take it easy.
Biceps. Let's go. See you guys.